Hi guys, welcome to the Oasis Healing Temple. If you are returning, thank you so much for joining me, or if you are new, welcome. For today's reading, we are getting messages from the Angelic Realm. So, let me go ahead and connect your crystals to the readings here. And then we will choose the significator card to help you choose your pile or piles that have messages for you. Alright, pile number 1. What messages do the Angelic Realm have for pile number 1? Woo. Alright, so there's 2 cards. Pile number 2. These are some substantial cards. Okay. Oh, you got a couple cards too. Pile number 3. Okay, these are so pretty. Pile number 1, you have Turn On Your Heart Light, and that is with the green Aventurine star. I'll try to put it in the light. The sun is coming in on my table. Pile number 2, you have The Only Thing That Is Real Is Love, and that is with the golden healer. Number 3, you have The Heart of the Matter, and that is with the strawberry quartz. Okay. If you need more time to meditate, to choose your pile, just push the pause button. Take what resonates for you during the readings. These are for the collective, so not everything is going to resonate with you at this current time. So the timestamps will be listed in the description box below, and I'll see you all at your readings. Welcome to your reading, pile number 1. These are your messages from the Angelic Realm, and you were drawn to the green Aventurine star as well as the Turn On Your Heart light. It says, allow yourself in this moment to reflect on a time when you experienced love. So I feel like, yeah, you're being offered a chance to heal your heart. There's some wound, and I feel like maybe you're being asked to surrender to this healing that's being offered you, and surrender to the wisdom that's also going to come in. We have some kind of bird up here. I'm not sure what it is. It could be an eagle. I'm not sure yet. We'll keep looking, but you're being asked to open your heart and to see things from a different perspective. And you got 2 cards. Ooh, we have forgiveness. Okay. Nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments. Nothing can be gained. Okay, so I feel like maybe I have several different types of energies coming through here. Some of you are missing a loved one that's already passed over and transitioned. And some of you, this could be within a relationship that you have, or that you had, that you may have a little bit of, still grievances with. Maybe there was harsh words spoken, and there's still a little bit of a grudge or holding on to, or there's some pain, something that needs to be let go of. Take what resonates here, whatever the case may be. But some of you, yeah, are definitely missing a loved one. We have the stairs going up, and I feel like that is, you know, the ascension into heaven, the transition moving forward. And what's so funny is we have turn on your heart light, and then there's this light that's being offered here. This beautiful healing that's coming in for you. Rainbow light. Okay, so definitely some healing. The higher realms want you to work on opening your heart, healing your heart, and seeing things from a different perspective. All right, let's put your star right here. Moving forward fearlessly. All right, you're being asked to move forward. It's time to move forward. It's time to let go. We have laughter. Okay. So for those of you where this reading is speaking about a loved one that's passed on, they're asking you to move forward and to begin enjoying life again. That it's time for you to find happiness, that it's okay for you to move forward now. You don't need to fear anything in the past. They're asking you to let go. There's forgiveness already in their heart. They're wanting you to, perhaps there's words that were unspoken, words that were spoken, that they're asking you to let go of, to forgive yourself, to stop holding yourself into a place where you're not allowed to move forward. Maybe you've been very harsh on yourself, very judgy. For those of you where this involves a current relationship or, you know, a recent past relationship, it's time for you to move forward and to enjoy life again. Oh, we have judgment. Let go of your fear of being judged. You are good enough. It is time to release all that you have kept safely locked away in your heart. Your true essence and potential have been restricted by structure and a method for long enough. There is no right or wrong way. Just be you. Make sure my cards are straight. Judgment. I feel like this, yeah, you've been judging yourself too harshly. Maybe you're holding on to something you did, something you said. This could come from a childhood wound. Because we have you are good enough, and to me those usually come from a place of a lack of feeling worthy. Yeah, I feel like you've been very sad. There's a lot of sadness coming through in some of these cards. Let me see. Oh, we have the inner child. Nurture your inner child and begin to express the awesome beauty you hold within you. We live in a world where a formula exists for everything, yet love and creativity have no formula. They do not need to be studied, simply nurtured. Regularly set some time to just play. Okay, so there's the inner child. The inner child's wanting you to do some healing work, to have some forgiveness in your heart. Maybe these are your parents, something happened in your childhood, maybe the way that you perceive yourself or perceive a situation, and they're wanting you to find love in your heart, to remember the times that were good, even though there were some bad moments, there was still love being offered. Or maybe there wasn't a lot of love being offered to you, and that's why your inner child needs the healing, because they didn't feel good enough, they didn't feel worthy enough. And what I can say about that is that we are all born into families, and not every family was given the gift of unconditional love and parents who were very attentive and nurturing and focused solely on the child's upbringing and their emotional state, their mental state, and you know, your overall well-being. Sometimes a lot of adults, if they weren't raised a certain kind of way, they don't have those seeds to pass on. You know, they don't have those programs. They don't have those behaviors to install in you because it's something that their parents left out of their childhood. And not every parent is strong enough to recognize and say, well, my parents didn't do that for me, and I feel like I missed out on some things, so I want to do that for my kids, and I want to germinate those seeds within my children. Sometimes they just end up passing on and sharing, you know, the same type of soil and never growing, never changing. And so there then becomes the one child born into the family lineage at some point who sees things differently, who wants change, who wants to feel loved, you know, or that type of whatever was being offered to them wasn't something that filled their heart completely, you know. There was this Oprah show that I had seen where she was she had some guest speaker, I don't know, and he was talking about like children who are born into childhoods where there's like a lack of love, there's a lack of nurturing energies, and the parents, you know, they feel like they did the best they could, you know, with what they had and what they could share from their heart space. And what he told Oprah was that her bucket was a lot deeper and required more love than what her parents could offer her, you know. And I feel like that is the truth for so many of us out there, because if our parents didn't have their cup filled by their own love for themselves, or the love that they were passed down from, that was passed down from their parents, and their cup wasn't filled, they couldn't fill your cup all the way, you know. And so that's why it requires us to learn how to do it for ourselves, and it requires commitment, it requires your love, it requires your forgiveness for what they couldn't do for you, you know, because they themselves didn't have enough to give. And so it's having that understanding and compassion in your heart where you see things from a different perspective and see that it had nothing to do with like you not being good enough. It just had to do with what, you know, little bits they had to pass around and share, you know, and everybody got like a portion of it, but it wasn't something that like filled your whole heart. You know, you didn't get like a whole slice of pie, you just got like a little piece of pie, and like your heart needed a whole piece, you know, a whole pie to make you feel full. And so that's where you have to offer that love to yourself and start filling your own cup. We have healing. Listen to your heart. Love is the greatest healer. It has the capacity to balance and heal your emotions, thoughts, and perceptions, which in turn will heal you physically. Your angels are here with you and will help you dissolve your fears. Trust in the power of love to guide you, and your life will magically transform. This card is confirmation that healing is occurring right now. Okay? There's a lot of healing coming into your life at the moment, coming into your heart space especially. You're going to start shifting the way that you perceive things, the way that your inner child has felt alone and abandoned. That healing is coming in. Your light's being restored. We have balance. Difference is a necessary part of human evolution, and everything in life is comprised of opposites, which together make life whole. If you light a candle in a room already filled with light, the light of your candle will be indistinguishable from the light which already exists. Because of darkness, we are able to perceive light. Both are necessary. And that's the thing. We have to experience. We chose to incarnate into this life to experience the duality that exists here on the planet. When we are in our angelic bodies, we only know love, we only know truth, we only know connection. And when we incarnate here on earth, there is this separation that occurs. You know, we have both darkness and light, and without the other, we can't perceive that the other one exists. So what we end up learning is that to know what love feels like, we have to experience what a lack of love feels like, right? So this isn't what I value in my relationships. In my relationships, I had this, and you know, it wasn't enough for me. And because you experienced that, you now know what you do need, you know, and what feels good versus what doesn't feel good. You have to have that, you know, that duality, that experience in order for you to know and to grow. It is that balance. And it's also, I have to, if I want this in my life, I have to experience the opposite of that in order to appreciate, you know, what it is that I'm truly after. The blessing of it, of actually having it, because then you value it more, you appreciate it more, you hold it sacred. You don't take it for granted, you know. We have Get Curious with Carnelian. We have this globe, so I feel like, yeah, there's a lot of moving forward here. And Carnelian connects to the sacral chakra, which is our emotional body, our water, our ability to nurture ourselves, to love ourselves, to offer and share that love with others. Not sure what these symbols are. And it's about, you know, it says get curious. I feel like that is, you know, connecting to our inner child here. Our inner child remembers everything. I'm trying to think, this is the sacral chakra, when we're developing it, it starts to develop around, like, I want to say 7 to 8 years old, where we start relating to others and have emotional, you know, our emotional body starts developing. You know, we start learning how to express ourselves and our creativity. We learn what is acceptable, you know, emotions even, because sometimes, you know, some of the old programming, children weren't allowed to cry, you know, they weren't allowed to express themselves, they were to be seen and not heard. A lot of parents can't handle children when they're acting out or disappointed or they're crying or whatnot, because it triggers other people's emotions and other, you know, repressed emotions and start bringing them up to the surface. And so they try to silence the children because they can't take all of the memories that come up from them from their childhood, and they can't take the stress of not being able to help the child understand their own emotions, because they themselves kind of suppress their emotions, you know. Okay, getting off track a little bit here. Let me bring it back into you guys. But yeah, get curious about your inner child and what is it that your inner child needs to help them move forward, so they're not judging themselves or judging the situation, where they can find forgiveness in their heart for the people that they feel abandoned you or made you feel like you were unworthy, you're not good enough in some kind of way, so that you can bring in that healing and nurturing energy into your inner child here. And our inner child also sits in the sacral chakra, is our body of water. It holds memories of our past. We have the wisdom of the Magi coming out with mental clarity. Yeah, the more that you go within and try to understand where your pain comes from, you will start to have more clarity. You'll have more understanding. You'll also have more compassion and less judgment. Yeah, lots of shifts coming in for you, pile number 1. Oh, we have the South Node, comfort zone. Resistance, fear of the new, clinging to the old ways or situations. I feel like this is the past, and sometimes you can get stuck in the past, repeating the past, being afraid to move forward, afraid to let go of the situation. If this is relating to those of you where this is a loved one who's moved on, they're asking you to step out of your comfort zone, and now it's time for you to move forward. This could also be, what I'm hearing now, is some of you may have lost a mate or a partner that's already transitioned, and maybe you've been holding yourself back from moving forward and finding love again, and you're afraid of judgment, afraid of people judging you, that if you were to be happy, that, you know, you have somehow that the love that you had for this individual didn't have as much meaning to you, and that's not the case. You know, you hold on to those memories, and those memories are dear to your heart, but that loved one doesn't want you sitting here, you know, not living your life, not moving forward, not experiencing the joy that is meant to be yours, you know. And that's where you can carry, you know, your love for them and the grief that you have over the loss of this individual. But you can also have those moments where, you know, you find laughter, you find the joy in life to live again, and not just be stuck in the past of those memories of what you shared with one another, and being afraid that if you were to move forward, that somehow that the love you had wasn't as meaningful. And that's not the truth. They're always with you. They're a guide for you now, and they're wanting you to move forward and to enjoy life, and to let go of any judgments that you may be placing on yourself, or that you're afraid that others are going to perceive you in some bad light. Okay, we have self-worth coming out. Healing, unworthiness, expectations, and values. Yeah, I feel like there's a belief system that makes you feel like you're unworthy, that you're not good enough, that you don't deserve happiness, you don't deserve to move forward. And that's what needs healing. Your inner child needs you to heal that wound of self-worth. We have listen within. The answers lie within. Listen to your intuition's quiet voice. So you may be listening to that fearful mind, which is something that is created when we are children, and you know, we have those emotions and we don't understand how to process them, what to do with them. You know, children just immediately, they feel it, they express it. They don't hold back. This is how they feel, and they're letting you know, right? Well, if there were moments where you weren't allowed to express those emotions, let's say your parents told you to be quiet, or, you know, that's enough. You weren't allowed to express the emotion at the moment that you felt it, right? So our mind then takes control and tries to rationalize the experience and what we're not allowed to express. So then we jump into our head space, and our head space can sometimes become it can override our hearts and override our emotions. And so that the mind starts becoming louder than our heart. And when that starts to happen, we start to ignore how we feel, we ignore our emotions. And so when we start learning to tune back into our heart space, we start uncovering the wounds that are still there, that still need our attention, that need our love, they need our validation, they need us to feel them so that we can release them. And then the more you start listening to the heart, that voice starts becoming louder and louder. And ultimately, you'll shift out of listening to your mind, which can take us down a rabbit hole of fearful thoughts and stress and anxiety and judgment and shame. And when we start listening to the heart space, we step out of that critical judgment and we come into a place of peace and balance and healing and growth, and our light starts shining brighter. We start actually having more health in our lives, in our physical body, because we're restoring the heart. The heart is the center, and it is like one of the biggest, I know our brain is like the biggest organ. Oh wait, no, it's our skin. It is like the most important, I would say, because it does so much for our life force energy. It spreads our life force energy around, and your heart just needs your attention. It needs your love. It needs your support. It needs your acknowledgement in order for you to be happy, so that you can move forward and let go of this past. Let go of the judgment. We have, remember who you are. Archangel Michael. You are a powerful, loving, and creative child of God. You are very loved. So work with Archangel Michael. Any of these angels that come out here today are offering you their love and support and healing energy. So they are of service to working with you. You just have to ask them to help you with whatever situations that they're offering you their wisdom today. And what I can say about Archangel Michael is he holds the sword of truth. And he helps you to cut through any illusions, any deceptive voices that you have in your mind that make you feel like you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're not lovable, that try to shame you and criticize you. He can help you cut through those illusions and see the truth by helping you go back into the heart space. And you can even ask him to help you to see the truth, to cut the cords of the past, because his sword will, he's very good at helping you cut cords. So you can also do a ceremony where you cut the cords of the past to any of these relationships or to any of these mental programs, mindsets that keep coming in. The more you catch yourself talking to yourself in that harsh way and you stop it and you correct it and come back into your heart, into your center, you will disrupt that program, that tape that keeps playing over and over again. The more you keep catching it and interrupting it, you kind of start leaving it's almost like scratching a CD, you know what I mean? Like eventually the CD won't be playable anymore. It will be like, you won't be able to hear what it's actually saying. So that's the goal, is to keep disrupting that program and coming into your heart space and listening to your heart again. We have clear audience. Archangel Ezekiel, notice the loving guidance you hear inside your mind or from other people. And I want to say, step out of the mind and come into your heart. Eventually, you'll be able to listen to your mind once you master the ego here, because when we're children, like I was saying, if we have repressed emotions, we enter our mind space. And then as we get to become adults, that mind space starts taking over and it becomes the ego. It starts seeing things from a judgmental place. It becomes very criticizing. It shames you if you want to rest, if you want to have fun, if you want to just enjoy life. It guilts you and saying, no, you need to be doing this, or you can't have fun, you ain't doing this right. It becomes this very judgmental voice in your head. And so you have to come back into the heart and heal the heart so that you learn to listen to the heart more, which creates that balance. And then you end up mastering the ego. You train the ego then how to speak to you, how to build your confidence up, how to be your cheerleader. And then it becomes like your best friend. And then the heart and the mind start working together. So you got to really heal the heart first, master the heart, allow yourself to embrace your feelings, nurture your emotions, understand them and validate them. And then the mind becomes like the servant, and then you become master of the mind. But it takes time and it takes patience. So make sure that you are being patient with yourself as you overcome these patterns. And you can work with Archangel Ezekiel. He is also a keeper of the violet flame, which can help you transmute any of these lower mindsets, these lower vibrational belief systems. He can help you with those as well. So working with these two are great. We have relationship harmony, Archangel Raguel. We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now. Okay, so I feel like this is the balance of the heart and mind, getting them to where they are working together in harmony, in balance, not opposing one another, where the mind's ignoring the emotions of the heart and the needs of the heart, and then the mind can start understanding why the heart feels this way, where it needs your love and your your guidance. We have teaching and learning, Archangel Ezekiel. Keep an open mind and learn new ideas, then teach them ideas to others. I feel like this is, you're teaching your mind how to, communicate to the heart space and having them work hand in hand and be on the same page where they're not opposing. Because within us we have this, duality of the masculine and feminine, right? And so our feminine is the heart, it's the body, and then we have our mind, and it's our mental space. So we have our emotional and our mental bodies at odds with one another. And until we get them on the same page, there's going to be this conflict within our own selves. We have, in the cartoons where they show the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. It's working with those two energies and teaching them how to both be on the same page. You don't want to have an open and exposed heart to the point where you allow people to take advantage of you. People can talk to you and treat you whatever kind of way, and you still, want to help them and love them and care for them. And that's okay to a point, but when it comes to like them affecting your heart and you feeling like you're not good enough, not worthy enough, because you keep pouring, love into this individual and they just keep taking advantage of you, or they just keep treating you like crap, that means that your heart is too open. You're not standing up for yourself. You're a little bit codependent. You're looking for approval from other people, and you're not protecting yourself. You're just kind of throwing your heart out there for anybody to just kind of break and shatter. And that's where you need to lean more on your mind, and your mind can tell you, pay attention to those red flags. This individual doesn't have your best interest. They're using you, they're manipulating you, they're lying to you, they're very deceitful. That's how we get the two to work together. And then the heart also, if you have a mind that just loves to run away with you, it stresses about everything, it worries about everything, or it shames you, criticizes you anytime you are emotional about something, or feel sad about something, or your body's tired and you want rest, and the mind is just going, no, you're not allowed to rest, you're lazy, or, you're so emotional, whatever the case may be, I'm sure everybody has experienced this at some time in their life. But it's understanding that the two are out of balance if those are the way that your heart and your mind communicate with one another. And so it's restructuring that inner dialogue that you have with yourself, with your heart and your mind, okay? We have healthy lifestyle. Archangel Raphael, eat a healthful diet, get adequate sleep, and exercise regularly for optimal health. Take care of yourself. Practice self-care, self-love, tend to the body. If the body is tired and you're able to rest, allow yourself to rest. Take a break. If you want to go do something fun for a day, it's your day off, just go do something and just enjoy life, enjoy being, enjoy having fun, engage in more play. Your inner child is dying to express itself. It wants to just enjoy life and have fun and to be carefree and have that peace of mind and not feel like they got to work so hard to prove something to someone. And that's not fair, right? The only one that you need approval of is from yourself, from your own heart, and from your own mind. All right, pile number one. I'm going to get you a few of these cards from the Angelic Realm just to close out your reading today. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you resonate with this reading. It helps me grow my channel and find other like-minded souls like yourself. Okay, we have truth. Today I discover my greatest truth is within me. It is a divine force that whispers from my inner self. I listen to this voice closely, putting aside my controlling mind. In this way, I find all the answers I am looking for. I am now in harmony with myself, and I welcome the love of God, which is the truth that will guide me towards my fullest, most shining radiance. I love it. You can't make this stuff up, The masculine and feminine, and bringing them into balance, into harmony within your own being. That's going to bring you that true happiness. That's how you'll discover your truth. We have letting go. Today, remembering that God is within and around me, I release myself to God's hands and regain my inner peace. I know God is providing me that which is most beneficial for my soul. I know that God is sending angels to help me face any difficulties that arise. I let go into God's will, knowing the best is yet to come. That surrender is so beneficial to helping you go with the flow and know that you are loved, that you are provided for, that you're always being guided, and that Source, God Creator, is always with you, and that you've never been abandoned. We have, I reap what I sow. Today I remember that all I think and do will come back to me in some way. I understand that I reap the fruits of what I sow and fill my life with thoughts and deeds of abundance, light, and love. I sow these seeds knowing I will harvest the greatest of riches. I love that. And see, that's the thing, when we are children, the seeds that we receive from our parents, that's what we grow in our soil. Those are the thoughts that we tell ourselves. Those are the social standards, you know, the ways of living, the expectations, the thoughts, the belief systems that they have. Those are the seeds that they provide for us. And then when we get to be adults, we can then choose what seeds are benefiting our life, which ones are weeds. They're acting like a virus. They're actually making me sick. I'm not happy with my life. I don't really see things this way. You know, it's discovering your inner truth, letting go of all the things that don't serve you, weeding out the garden, your inner garden of what, you know, what you've been germinating, what have you been feeding, what have you been listening to, you know, what sad, you know, judgmental thoughts have you been holding on to and growing within you, and it's time to let them go, to move forward and set some new intentions, put some new seeds in, you know, where you learn to nurture loving, kind, worthy thoughts about yourself and how you see yourself, and start growing your inner light again, okay? All right, pile number one. I'm going to close your reading. If this reading resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you don't know what to say, just let me know pile number one resonated with you. I'm sending you all lots of love. Y'all take care and have a blessed day. Wow, crooked. Sorry about that. Welcome to your reading, pile number two. So you were drawn to the Golden Healer Star with it's the only thing that is real is love. And it says, shift your focus from the problem back to love. Okay, so I feel like you are being asked to come into your heart space, because that is where our wisdom comes from. This is where healing comes from, is our heart. And you had, I think you got 3 cards that wanted to come out. So let me pull these 3 first. All right, messages from the Angelic Realm. We have, love makes the difference. Love can help heal past hurts and provide a sense of security, self-worth, and importance. All right, last one. Show simple acts of kindness. A simple act of kindness can energize you and bring happiness to those around you. Okay. Alright, I had to pause your video real quick because I had to go feed the goats. So, for your reading, pile number 2, the messages coming in through these cards from the Angelic Realm, I feel like you're being asked to show some kindness to yourself, practice acts of self-love, self-care, learning to love and nurture yourself. I feel like maybe there's something, because we have this tree here, I feel like there's something in your childhood that needs healing. Maybe there's an aspect of yourself that doesn't feel worthy or doesn't feel good enough, where you may have felt that your needs weren't being met, or that your emotions weren't being tended to or looked after. I have the guineas coming through, and they're just, I feel like this is the male guinea who's sounding off to the female guinea, so hang on. Okay, and that could be a message as well. Maybe you have like a harsh mind. I feel like the way that you speak to yourself, maybe the way that you see yourself comes from a critical, harsh point of view. And it could be something from your childhood. And I kind of, you know, maybe it was something from the masculine. Maybe your father wasn't very nurturing. Maybe he spoke harshly or critical to you. And it wasn't because there was something wrong with you or you weren't good enough in any kind of way. I feel like this is something that is a generational pattern where your father may not have received that attention and that love, so he didn't have that energy within himself to share and pass down to you. And so maybe you may have sought solitude in nature. Maybe perhaps you didn't have that feminine guide either as well to teach you how to nurture yourself and comfort yourself. Or maybe the mother wasn't very comforting. We have love can help heal past hurts and provides a sense of security, self-worth, and importance. Okay, yeah. Lots of inner child healing that needs to take place here. And now is the time for you to go within and reflect on those wounds of the past. You know, where does my lack of love come from? You know, where's the source of it? And of course, it's always with our childhood, right? Because this is where we get our seeds of intention, of learning how to take care of ourselves. And then we also learn what love looks like. We learn how to neglect our emotions or acknowledge how we feel. You know, we're taught these things when we are children, how to handle life situations. We're always watching our parents. How do they handle stress? How do they handle arguments? How do they, disagreements or whatever? How do they handle their mistakes? Do they apologize when there's an error? Do they take responsibility? Do they ignore how they feel? Do, they speak kind thoughts about themselves or to other people? It's like they got the mother who's always looking at herself in the mirror and she just keeps calling herself fat, you know what I mean? And I wish I didn't have this, wish I looked like this. And then the little girl who's like, in her child adolescence body that is, just beautiful and has, no flaws, and they're looking at themselves and criticizing themselves because that's what they are taught by their parents. Children reflect their parents and their energies. Just thinking of children who, young ones, when they're learning to speak for the first time, and if the parent says a lot of, curse words, you see your children, they too will express those curse words, and they'll say it in the correct tone that they're meant to be spoken in. They know how to use the dialogue, and it's because they have watched your behaviors. They learn through your body language and everything like that, how to express themselves in the world, what is acceptable and what is not. And so I feel like there's a part of you who may not have felt nurtured, safe to express yourself, and you may have found that in Mother Nature herself, maybe in the animal kingdom or the plant kingdom. This is your safe space, and this is where you felt that connection. And so I feel like you're being asked to go back to this childhood wound and to heal that wound. Now is the time for you to apply love into those areas of your life where you may have felt ignored or alone or, unloved, ignored in any kind of way. It's time to bring in that healing to that inner child so that you can feel more confident, so that you can attract healthy relationships, so that you can move forward, learning to be able to receive love. So this is a call to healing. I don't know if y'all can see. Let me put it over here. Ancestor. Okay. So yeah, this is a family tree. This is something that's been passed down generationally. And it's, you may have been, you heard the call. I feel like you have chosen to come here to incarnate into this family lineage to bring that healing, to learn how to nurture the inner child so that you can bring forward generations of children who feel loved and nurtured and supported, and having, you know, true guides to help them learn how to live and function in society, and learning how to love themselves and feel valued and appreciated and wanted and needed. Yeah, this was part of your mission of why you came here, with the heal this family line, to bring the healing to your ancestors that have come before you. And like, you know, if you look in the past of, you know, humanness, there has been a lot of war, there's been a lot of slavery, there's been so much oppression in so many different, you know, parts of the world, and so much darkness, so much rage and anger and greed. And each family carries a certain amount of darkness in their lineage, and each soul that's born into that family takes on some of that darkness and does their best to try to transmute that energy, to transform the darkness and bring in more love, to take on a little bit of the burden, you know, like, okay, so this is what happened to me as a child, so I'm gonna I didn't like this, so I'm going to do something different with my children, because this isn't what I received and I want my kids to receive this. So we plant those seeds in our children, but we can't transmute all of the darkness at one time. So we take on, each of us takes on a certain amount of that darkness to transmute it. And so then now our children, they take what we offered them, and there's certain seeds that they didn't like, so they're going to weed those out. And they'll take what happened to them and they'll say, well, I didn't like this, so I'm going to do this with my kids. But I did like this that my parents taught me, and I'm going to keep moving that forward, but I'm going to change some things and keep, you know, we keep asserting more love, more light as we keep going on, and so that the darkness gets less and less and less in our family tree. And so you as a soul, when you incarnated and you chose to come into this family, there were certain contracts that you signed with individuals, with your parents, to take on, you know, lessons that they could offer you, and you would transmute the shadows, transmute the darkness, the things that weren't serving, weren't loving, weren't kind, and you transform them. You learn from them, learn the experience of, this isn't serving me, this isn't offering me any kind of love and light, so this is a bad seed. So I'm going to change this, and I'm going to plant this seed in my kids. And so you are changing that, but it starts within you. You have to learn how to pull out that weed that was being offered to you that's not growing, and pull it out and insert your love, you know. And if it was feeling like you weren't good enough, that you weren't worthy, that's the seed you have to grow within yourself. You have to start filling your cup, nurturing yourself, nurturing that seed with your own love, and validating yourself, boosting your confidence, telling yourself that you're good enough, that you love yourself. And if you have fears, if you have worries that come up, you acknowledge that they come from your childhood, that this is the part of the healing. This is the transmutation that you need to work on, where you take one aspect of something and you apply the opposite. So if you received, you know, neglect, you want to give attention. So it's applying the medicine, working with the opposites of energies. You received this, and this wasn't good, so we want to apply the opposite of that, and that's how the healing comes in. We have a new location. New location. This could be a new experience. Some of you may be moving. I feel like this is the moving on, the progressing forward, moving forward from the past here. Moving forward from these patterns of repetition, of the family, you know, going in this pattern. You are here to shift that pattern, to move it forward, to bring the healing. Yeah, you are a starseed. self-criticism, we, your angels, ask you to please be more compassionate towards yourself. Observe the times when you have critical thoughts about you, and make an effort to replace those negative thoughts with positive, loving ones. I mean, you can't make this up. This is the transmutation that needs to take place. These thoughts, they come from your past, from your childhood. They're not your own. You know what I mean? You develop them from childhood, and that's what needs to changing. It needs to growth. Your inner child needs you to help it to mature and not see things from that childhood perspective. And that comes from you becoming your own inner parent, you listening to yourself, you validating your feelings, understanding where they come from, questioning them, asking them what do they need, and going into your heart space, right? And learning how to see yourself through a loving eye, not through a critical eye. You are a wondrous being of light, even if at times you think you are less than perfect. Remember that God and divine protection exist in divine perfection exists in all things. Seeing that self-criticism is you putting yourself down, you not seeing yourself as worthy, you not thinking that you're good enough and that something is wrong with you because, you know, your parents didn't do this for you, or your parents treated you this way, or you didn't receive this when you were younger, you know. And children always want to, you know, we always think that there's something wrong with us instead of maybe because they're children. You know, children don't understand. We see things, you know, and we always think the worst about everything because a child's mind is so vivid and so imaginative, you know, and everything seems so big in the world. And so that part of us still exists and still experiencing that because it's been ignored for so long. So it does seem bigger, 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 like it lasted so long. And when we stop and we start listening to that inner child, to that voice, and trying to understand it and give it a voice, you know, and give it a way to express itself, you can learn a lot about yourself. And you just want to feel loved and appreciated and, you know, validated. You want somebody to give you love and encouragement and confidence, to tell you that you are enough, and that's what you need to hear, right? But it's not looking outside of yourself anymore. It's learning to go within and give it to yourself, to grow that seed within you. We have rainbow. You are a jewel, even though you may not see it. Even in the darkest of times, you shine eternally bright. You are surrounded by an aura of love, and a pot of gold awaits beyond the horizon. All will clear soon. Trust and continue to follow your dreams. You are eternally blessed. Rainbow. So you have some blessings that are coming in for you, and they want you to know that you are a blessing yourself. You are a blessing to this tree, to this family lineage, because you are a strong soul. You knew you could transmute this energy. You could do the work. You know, and it's hard to hear that we choose. We choose this for ourselves, you know, but we truly did. We heard the call. We signed up to go on this mission. We decided to come to Earth and to bring our healing hearts. You know, we are brave souls. We had the courage, the confidence in ourselves that we could go to the darkest parts of the universe and restore our light. Remember that we are all connected, that we are all one, that we are all light, we are all love, and that you were strong enough to bring that love into this family that has been in the dark for so long, that has been in the pain, that has felt abandoned and alone. You know, they've been waiting for you. They've been waiting for a soul like you to come in and to bring that healing, transformative energy, so that children no longer are born into families where they feel neglected or ignored or not good enough. And it takes a strong person to be able to battle those energies. You have transmutation with black tourmaline. Look at that. You are taking one energy and you are flipping it. You're transforming it so it can grow. And look at these seeds, you know. This is the, you know, a dandelion. And dandelions grow like in the poorest of soils, you know. They can grow anywhere. They are what you call a weed. They're adaptable to their environment. And they know how to grow within any kind of condition. You know, where there is drought or there's rain or if there's sun or if there's shade, they are adaptable. And you have gone into the darkness, and now it's time for you to shine your light, to shine your rainbow light, to bring that healing energy into this family lineage. You've learned as much as you can, and now it's time for you to transform and to heal and to spread these seeds of light and love. You know, these are the new seeds, the wishes that your ancestors have been praying for. They've been praying for a soul that was strong enough to heal the family. And you are that person. We have lost and wounded, not feeling enough, missing someone, or left out in the cold. Yeah. That's you. You wounded inner child. Yeah, you went through a lot of trauma as a child here. A lot of change. Maybe there was a lot of moving. Maybe you were uprooted a lot. You had to travel around a lot. There was no like solid foundation. I feel like it was very hard for you to feel safe and secure from one day to the next. Yeah, I feel like this part of you is what's asking for that healing. Attachment, longing, desperation. Yeah, I feel like you felt trapped, and you do feel trapped. You feel stuck, like you can't move forward. Sometimes what can happen to us is without even realizing it, we end up attracting people and energies, situations, circumstances into our lives that reaffirm our belief system. And I feel like there's something that you believe about yourself, and this is what needs to change, is your beliefs and how you see yourself. And children do this, like I said. We believe that we're not good enough, we're not worthy, we're not lovable, and so because that is a belief system that we have, that ends up creating our reality. We end up attracting people in our life that almost validate that belief system. And what I can suggest for all of you who have those feelings within that make you feel like you're not good enough, that you're not worthy, where you criticize yourself, is to go within and find those seeds of doubt and transform them. Work with the powers of transmutation and to reaffirm your worth, nurture yourself, validate yourself, heal yourself, tend to the heart chakra, tend to the inner child's needs, and let go of any attachments to the past that have you feel like you can't move forward and that you're not allowed to have a new beginning. Let's see, we have soulful appreciation, heartfelt gratitude. Yeah, take what you can from the experience. What have you learned about yourself? What have you learned about the journey? What wisdom can you extract from it? We have the butterfly, so there is transformation ahead on the path. We have these blessings, you know, it's like counting your blessings, being grateful for what you have in your life. For the time that you have, for the time that you've spent. Maybe with certain people in your life that have made a difference. But I feel like, yeah, your ancestors are sending you their gratitude. They're going to help you shift the scale more in your favor now. It's time for you to receive. Flow of life. Surrender to life's natural flow. Trust where it takes you. Yay. Yeah, the tides are shifting, and the prosperity, the love, the appreciation, everything's going to start flowing more into you, because you are going to create that shift. You're going to start magnetizing love and appreciation, new beginnings, more self-worth, more self-value, appreciating yourself and how far you've come, everything that you've went through. And when you tap into that flow, you're going to be on the receiving end now of everything that you felt like you have been longing, that you've been without. You gotta let go of any kind of attachment to the past and holding on to the energies of lack or self-worth or judgment about yourself. We have inner peace. There we go. And finding that inner peace within. We have the moments of peace. Intuition speaks the loudest. Yeah, you know, I was telling you about, you may have a harsh, critical mind. I feel like the way that you talk to yourself, that's going to be changing. Spend time with yourself. Communicate to your inner child. Understand where they feel lack and why, and then comfort them and nurture them and give them your wisdom. We have overcoming difficulties. Archangel Jeremiah. The worst is now behind you, and you are surmounting any previous challenges. And we have that here with another mountain. Look at that. And there's this beautiful, I'm not sure if this is an owl. I feel like it's an owl, but it's flying above the mountain. You know, it's that higher perspective. The wisdom is going to come in for you. You yourself, the wisdom, you're going to be sharing that wisdom with your inner child. We have gentleness, Archangel Sandalphon. Be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environments. So these may be angels that want to work with you at the moment that you are tuning into this reading. Archangel Sandalphon communicates through, you know, music. So you may be drawn to listening to some music, or you may be having any kind of synchronicities or a song come on that reminds you of this individual, of your childhood. Maybe music used to be something that you enjoyed in your youth. But yeah, he's here to tell you to be gentle with yourself as you go through this process, this healing. Healing isn't easy. It does take courage. It takes some confidence. It takes patience with yourself as you go through these changes and shifts. Because you'll have, you know, it's a pattern. It's something that's been there for a long amount of time. And it takes time and dedication and effort and to, you know, work through them, to remind yourself of your worth, to remind yourself that you're loved and that you're worthy and that you're appreciated and seen, you know, and it takes you putting in that constant effort and work to comfort yourself and to communicate with yourself so that you don't feel so alone. You are the one who can bring in the healing. And the angels are going to help you during this shift. Ooh, we have nurture. Look at that. Archangel Gabriel. As you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. Definitely work on nurturing that child, the inner child. Creative writing. Archangel Gabriel. Make time to write down your thoughts in a journal or pen an article or book. Okay. The work that you do on yourself is going to heal the future generations. And will also, if you have children, it will also prevent them from having to feel this way as well. That's that generational healing for your tree of life that you're growing. You may feel it is a benefit to write down your thoughts, write down your fears, to have that dialogue with your inner child so that you can address the needs that your inner child is still feeling like they lack, so that you can be the one who offers that help. You can give them their confidence back and the confidence in yourself that it's time to move forward. It's time to embrace the life that's meant for you and to heal your heart. All right, pile number 2. Let's get you some final messages from the Angelic Realm before we close your reading. Lots of healing being offered here. Lots of guidance towards the path of healing. They're urging you to tend to your own inner child here. We have attaining peace. Today, I turn within to find the source of my experiences. There, I find the peace that comes from seeking truth. I understand the riches I discover within myself have a greater value than all the wealth of the outside world. Step by step, I continue my spiritual quest. Little by little, I free myself, rising over higher and attaining true inner peace. Rising ever higher and attaining true inner peace. Oh, I love that. Very, very, very good. That one's self-explanatory. You're going to find that peace when you go within, when you close your eyes and you start that dialogue within your own heart space with your own inner child and bring that healing relief that you're looking for. We have, I am light. Today the light is within me. The light surrounds me. The light protects me. I remain light-filled and joyful regardless of what circumstances arise. I am a diamond shining forth in all my splendor. I am worthy of the divine within me. Beautiful. One more. Okay, 2 more, they said. We have crossing into the light. Today I face a new bridge that I must cross on my journey to inner transformation. Today, like every day, I will practice the laws of the universal love. Thus, I will deal with the current situation in a positive way so that I continue to grow and evolve. As I cross this bridge on my way towards the light, I am reminded of the true meaning of life. Beautiful. Look at this light, this success, this happiness that's awaiting you. And then we have overcoming. Today, in this great school of life, I practice self-discovery. By acknowledging that my fears, anger, and ego separate me from my divinity, I allow the light to grow inside of me. This light gives me the power to reign over my inner kingdom. Today, I overcome all that separates me from the light that is my truest self. Beautiful. This is you standing in the light. And I feel like this is you nurturing your inner child with open arms. Both of you are reaching out to one another. All right, pile number 2. This was your reading. I'm going to go ahead and end it here before it gets too long. I'm sending out lots of love, big heart hugs. You can do this. I have nothing but confidence in you. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If this was your reading, if you don't know what to say, just let me know. Pile number 2 resonated with you. Y'all take care. See you next reading. Y'all have a blessed day. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So these are messages from the Angelic Realm, and you were drawn to the Strawberry Quartz Star and the Heart of the Matter card. And each reading got extra cards except for yours, but yours is card number 22, and that connects to Archangel Raphael, which brings about a healing energy, which all of these readings have been about healing, because we have Heart of the Matter, and it says there is more going on than meets the eye. recognize what this is all about. And we have this little child here that's laying on the grass, connecting to Mother Nature. And there's this angel that's looking over them. And we have all these animals, all these creatures. I believe these are flowers that are growing here in the meadow. And there's a lot of connection to the past here. A lot of, we have this tiger, and I feel like this is about having inner strength. And holding on to your innocence here. We have this unicorn, and unicorns are about, you know, innocence and being unique and seeing things from a higher perspective. And we have, you know, your inner child here, and I feel like this is you. And there's something going on that you might not perceive at the moment, but there's something going on behind the scenes that you're unaware of. So let's see what other messages want to come through from the angelic realm. We have inner peace. Ooh, maybe you've been manifesting something and you haven't quite seen it in full manifestation yet. So, but there are things going on behind the scenes. Yeah, because this series holding on to a little star, and I feel like she's making a wish. Like this is a dream that you have. Yeah, a dream. Letting go. Okay. Oh yeah, you had a lot of these cards come out for you. Be honest with yourself and trust your intuition. Okay. So I feel like, yeah, there's something that you've been wanting to manifest. There's a dream that you have, something that you're creating. You've been thinking about it, setting that intention. You've released it into the universe, and you're being asked to trust your intuition. Know that it is so. Know that it's in the works. It is happening. It's manifesting. Let's see. We have gratitude. Yay. Stay in your heart center. Thank you. This is a heartfelt thanks to you from someone you recently helped in some way. I, your guardian angel, also wish to thank you for the unconditional love you emanate to the earth, humanity, and those around you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are eternally blessed. May peace, grace, and love forever guide you along your sacred path. Oh, I love that. So there's something on its way to you, something in the works of manifesting. I feel like this is your guardian angel telling you thank you so much for all the love. And so we have all these creatures on Mother Earth. This is Mother Earth also connecting and telling you that she is grateful for your presence here on the planet. And your guides, your angels, are telling you thank you for all that you bring. Thank you for the loving, kind heart that you have, for everything that you bring to the planet and to those that are around you. You have a big heart. We have celestial quartz, become inimitable. Look at that. And we have these stones that are creating a replication of the Stonehenge sacred space. Okay, I feel like, yeah, you're definitely, something big is taking place behind the scenes. We have this little owl here. Wisdom. Something unseen in the spiritual realm is starting to take root. It's starting to ground. It's almost becoming, you know, more physical and tangible in the physical realm here. We have green fluorite. Is this mine? With a question mark. Ooh, look at all this growth growing up. But there's also some little birds that seem like they're caught in a web. Maybe there are some old belief systems that you're holding on to that you still question whether you're deserving or good enough, or this manifestation, this wish that you have is going to manifest. Fluorite. And fluorite's such a stone of clarity and healing. It's very good for grounding the mental body. Yeah, I feel like there's some old programs in there that can be cleansed and healed. Let's see, what else can we have? We have renewal and spark. New life, fresh starts, rejuvenation, healing after a crisis, and the sacral chakra. Make sure that these are straight. Spring. I felt spring come through just then. Yeah, maybe this dream that you have, you're being asked to let it go, to go with the flow. Know that it is manifesting. Maybe by spring, you're going to start to see the fruits of your labor start to manifest. You know, when coming into actualization, into the physical realm. Yeah. Let go. What else we have? We have decisions, contemplation. Okay. Yeah. So maybe you're contemplating between something. Some choices, which path to go, which way to go. And the angels want you to know to be honest with yourself and trust your intuition. Let go of any thoughts that aren't serving you, any belief system, anything that's maybe holding you back and holding you down from making this choice. Because I feel like you know what is the right thing to do, which path to go on, and there's something that's holding you back. Phase entanglement. Emotional influence. Maybe you are afraid of being judged. You're afraid of, being seen. Afraid that people are going to talk about you. I completely understand that. Palm through. It comes from an old childhood wound that made you feel like you weren't good enough in some way. This could have also happened in a past life that you just see manifesting continuously in your incarnations. It's an old pattern, and this is the cycle where you bring in that transformation, where you change, where you go ahead and make the choice, you decide, and you commit, you let go, you trust yourself, you begin this new journey, and you will all of a sudden discover this is the truth, this is who you really are, this is your power, your strength. You end up feeling more grateful that you made that choice. You're going to feel renewed, you're going to feel empowered, you're going to be so happy, and then it's going to, like, this whole new life is going to begin for you. That's awesome. We have angelic whisper. The angels whisper through your intuition, so pay attention. You have intuition coming out again. Listen to your heart. That is where your guides reside. They're communicating to you. They're trying to guide you on the path to choose to follow your heart. We have chakra alignment. Yeah, I feel like this is you coming into alignment with your truth, with who you are meant to be, what you're supposed to be doing. It says balance your energy centers to enhance intuitive perception. Perhaps do some kind of online alignment if you don't have a Reiki or chakra therapist around you, to align your chakras, you yourself. You can lay down and do your own guided meditation to align your chakras. That will help you stay balanced and centered and connected to your truth and your heart and your guides. Let's see what else coming through. Your pile is very straightforward. The first two piles had a little bit more emotional healing that needed to take place in their heart chakras. And I feel like you have done a lot of work, and you're just on the verge of stepping onto this brand new path where you're, claiming your power back. Like you've peeled the layers and you've done the work, and now you're getting to like the core of your truth, your wisdom. Okay, let's see. What else we have? We have prosperity. Look at that. Archangel Ariel, your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into reality. Yay! This choice, this decision is going to lead to your prosperity and your abundance. So follow your heart, listen to your guides. They're guiding you on the path to take to move forward. It's in your heart. It's what your divine spark, your creativity. It's your inner child's desires and passions. We have beloved one. Archangel Shamuel, I am helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. Maybe some of you, this manifestation has to do with love, a partnership, a relationship, your soulmate. Yeah, you can work with these angels. They're coming out in your reading as guides to offer you support in whatever this manifestation is, this choice that you are about to make for yourself. It's going to renew your heart. It's going to renew your faith. It's going to make you feel more connected. And we have moon cycles. Archangel Haniel, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations and capitalize upon those cycles. Okay, you're being asked to work with the moon cycles in this manifestation. Realize that everything has a cycle, everything has a time and a place, divine timing. That can also be a message here. Trust in divine timing, have patience. Now is the time for this to come about, to come into fruition for you. We have patience. That's so funny. Patience is required at the moment. You may feel things are not moving as fast as you would like, yet there is a lot going on energetically. The current situation, causing concern, is evolving positively. Let go, have patience. You will eventually realize that the whole event was in fact a blessing. All is perfect as it is. Trust. You are eternally loved and guided. Yay. Confirmation. The trust in divine timing. Everything is working out according to plan. Everything's coming into alignment. This is on its way to you. Whatever this manifestation is, whatever this dream, this desire, this passion is, it is working out in your favor. It's moving closer and closer towards manifesting. You just have to have faith and patience. Stay in your heart center. Hold your vision. We have forgiveness come out, and it says, today I bless each soul I perceive to have hurt me. I release them to their own greater good. I can now see that my past provides me with lessons that help me live more fully in the present. I no longer struggle with what has been said and done. I am grateful for every experience that has brought me here. I fill myself with a love that is pure and free. that's what I was getting with this green fluorite. You know, there's something that needs to be released a little bit and let go of, that maybe, you know, this fear of not being good enough, or fear of people talking about you, and it has to do with something from the past. You know, a childhood wound here, maybe where you felt bullied or picked on, or people talked about you and gossiped about you, made things up about you without really getting to know you. And so it has you, you know, in a holding on to a little bit of doubt in your heart. And that's what needs to be released and let go of. You know, is this mine? And no, it isn't. This doesn't belong to you. This is something that you agreed with and decided it was true. And it's something that needs to be let go of, because it's not your truth. It's not who you are. Pile number 3, please. Peacock agrees. I'm not sure how many of the farm animals you'll actually hear on my readings. Because sometimes I think y'all will hear something and I can't hear it back on the recording when I listen to it back. And some of them I do. Okay, we have attaining peace. Today I turn within to find the source of my experiences. There I find the peace that comes from seeking truth. I understand that the riches I discover within myself have a greater value than all of the wealth of the outside world. Step by step, I continue my spiritual quest. Little by little, I free myself, rising ever higher and attaining true inner peace. This came out in one of the other readings, I'm not sure. That's right. Listen to your own heart and your own guidance, and not anything that's in the past holding you back or making you feel like, you know, your manifestation isn't going to come forward, that you're not good enough, that you're not seen, you're not heard. And Mother Nature and your angels, the Angelic Realm, are letting you know that they see you, they know your heart, they're grateful for you, they're grateful for all that you do here for other people, for Mother Earth. You are a source of power. You are a source of love. Just have some patience with yourself, some forgiveness of the past, anything that may be holding you back. And we have together in the light. I give thanks for all who enter my life. I understand we are all exactly who and where we are supposed to be. And everyone contributes to each other's personal growth. Every reaction someone draws from me is a gift from their soul to mine, meant to help free me from my inner conflicts. Today, by focusing on my development rather than on others' faults, I become one with the divine. Okay. Just know that anybody who's projecting something onto you is because of their own fears. And it's their own, you know, feelings of lack and doubt and worth within themselves. And they may see you and see, you know, your happiness, your heart, and, you know, have a little bit of jealousy or insecurity, and they may want what you have. And so in order to get it from you, you know, it's like they want to just take it. And so they want to give you whatever insecurity they have and project that onto you and take your confidence away, you know, so that they have your confidence and you have their insecurity. And unfortunately we decide, okay, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take the insecurity that you have so that you can have my confidence in myself. And when you see it this way, it's like, wow, my goodness. You know, and I try to share this also with my children when I hear some of their stories about how the way some other girls try to talk to them. And, you know, my kids were the new kids in school, and because they were new, they were kind of getting a lot of attention from some of the people in the classroom. And one of the girls wanted to make some kind of statement about my daughter, you know, not really knowing her or anything like that, to kind of try and, you know, put her down in some kind of way to make herself look better. And I told my daughter, like, shoo, she's just insecure, and she sees you maybe not knowing that you yourself are probably a little insecure and nervous and everything like that, but she thinks you're maybe competent, and she wants that confidence, and so she wants to give you her insecurity so that you'll feel insecure, and her try and take your confidence away, to add to her own light that she feels she doesn't have herself. And sometimes people do that if they think that, oh, you have, confidence, and, they see your light, they want to kind of take your light if they themselves don't know how to generate that light within the moments of their own being. They'll try and take it from others, and we can choose to allow people to affect us or not, and I told my daughter, you don't need her approval, so it doesn't matter what she says or what she believes anyway. She's just jealous, and that's how you can see things, is you don't need people's approval. The only person's approval you need is you. And know that you are good enough, you are loving, you are kind, you have a big heart, you are seen by the angelic realm, you are being acknowledged. They see the work that you do and contribute to the planet, to the animal kingdom even. And know that you are worthy, that you are loving, you are a bright light, and that you are worthy and deserving of this blessing that's trying to find its way to you. This beautiful manifestation that you have, know that it is gaining ground, it's gaining momentum, it's building that solid foundation for you so that you can begin this new journey where you feel healed, almost like reborn in a way, like your light being restored. And it's this beautiful path of abundance and alignment with your soul's purpose. That's beautiful. All right, pile number 3. These were your messages from the angelic realm. If they resonated with you, I'd love to hear your story. If you feel like sharing in the comments below, or if you don't know what to say, just let me know pile number 3 resonated with you. I'd love to have you back for future readings. Sending y'all lots of love. Y'all take care and have a blessed day.